Sure, yeah, against my better judgment, I will assume that you are arguing in good faith, and we can address these videos. I don't know if I'll get to them all at once. So the first two, the Deutero-Isaiah and the long ending of Mark, just to explain those, Deutero-Isaiah is the theory, and it's not an established fact because none of us were there, that Isaiah was written by more than one author and then compiled into a single book and attributed to Isaiah. However, there's a lot of criticism of that theory. Firstly, there's absolutely no manuscriptal evidence that that any of that is true. When the theory was first proposed, it was in like the 1100s or something like that, and since then the Dead Sea Scrolls have been discovered, and they have Isaiah as a single continuous document. So I don't think that theory has any weight. Another big support in favor of the Deutero-Isaiah theory is that, well, it seems like the first Isaiah was talking about some stuff, and then the later Isaiah was talking about stuff that the first Isaiah couldn't have known about because it hadn't happened yet. And there's a very simple explanation for that: prophecy. So if the first Isaiah, or the only Isaiah, was a prophet, then he could have known about things that the second Isaiah wouldn't have known about because he was a prophet. There's also a lot of consistency between all 66 chapters of Isaiah, shared themes, metaphors, vocabulary. There's just a lot of problems with the Deutero-Isaiah theory that it really isn't a valid criticism to me. The long ending of Mark is another theory. Again, none of us were there. It's a theory that all we know is that there's manuscripts that appear to be older than others that don't have these extra verses in Mark. However, there isn't like a microscope there's not like a lab, and there's not like tests and droppers and stuff that you can do and be like, oh, this one was made in 200 AD and this one was in 202 AD. Like that's not how it works. The way that people do it is they can do some carbon dating, but that's not super accurate because different types of radiation and stuff can affect that significantly. And the other way that they use to tell how old something is if it has other documents in the same time frame that have the same doctrines. And what's really funny about that, and I'm going to talk about this, I'm going to do this in two parts. What's really funny about that is what they'll do is they'll say, well, we've established that everything around this time has these things, and so whenever they find something that doesn't match that, they say, well, this can't be from that time, and they throw it out. And then they find something else, well, this also can't be from that time, and they throw it out. Even though those two things supported each other, they throw out both of them and all of them, and they just keep going because it doesn't fit the model that they have established. Now, all of this wouldn't be a problem with time travel until that happens, or until there's another Dead Sea Scrolls type thing, and it says, and on there it says, this was written in 100 AD or something like that. Until we have something like that, but even then they could say that it's this is a forgery, right? So it's very difficult to actually date these things accurately. So having documents that some manuscripts have the full ending and other ones don't have the full ending, that's just scribes copying things differently. I don't see a problem with it. That's not a compelling reason for me to discount the rest of the Book of Mormon. In part 2, I'm going to discuss how early Christianity was practiced in the Book of Mormon and how it was also practiced in the pre the the Deuteronomists' rewriting of Scripture, especially in the Judahite kingdom, using the book Key to the Keystone. And then I'm also going to challenge you to back up some of the claims that you're making about how Joseph Smith apparently made this up. I'm assuming is what your claim is, that he's just that much of a genius that he can take a couple different scriptures and create something that's at least as complex as the Bible, if not more so, because the whole thing's a chiasmus, and we'll get to that in the next video.